Hey. Coach Wheeler here, and today I want to do a little video about toxic relationships and staying in a relationship that you know is bad, that you're not happy with, that's not quite right. You've tried to make changes and you're not getting anywhere, and you're trying to satisfy yourself maybe by going out a lot, distracting yourself. Maybe you're drinking a little bit more, maybe you're having an affair, maybe you're cheating, maybe they're cheating on you because they're not happy and you're kind of hanging on to them because you feel like it might change, things might get better. And it's really a destructive, toxic, pointless waste of a life. And I see it a lot. I see it in relationships, people that are married, and they'll excuse it by saying, well, we've got kids and we've got the home and we have a few properties and we're doing really well and life is great, and well, there are things about him that I like, or she's not a bad mother, and this and this, and all of those things are great. But it's kind of like, really, people? Now, I'm not sitting here advocating that just start destroying relationships and giving up. I'm talking about doing the right thing. So the first thing I would suggest is that you sit down and talk to each other and really talk about what you honestly need from the relationship, what you honestly want, and where there might be gaps. I mean, I've heard stories of people that sleep in separate beds, in separate bedrooms. They don't have much intimacy or sex. They don't have much passion. I know people that have had affairs in relationships, and you hear stories of people that have cheated, and it's like, okay, well, can you forgive and forget? Can you move on with a good heart? Can you move on with forgiveness and let dead dogs lie? Because that's what you need to do. And some people can't. And then what they end up doing is living in a toxic world, a toxic relationship, and living in misery. And that doesn't help you or them, because they're going to feel on tenterhooks, you're going to feel on tenterhooks. And it's kind of like, as harsh as it sounds, and I'm not advocating everyone just go and ruin their relationships, but try to be more in tune with the person you love and make the right choices when you fall in love. So if you're starting out on a relationship, if you're young and you're meeting someone you think it could be love, really analyze their values, their human needs, and who they are and what they represent and what they're like under pressure in difficult situations. Talk about the tricky things. Talk about finances, children, living together, what you expect, what you don't expect, what you'd like, what you don't like, because those things are important. Because when you get later down the line, it's harder to leave. Well, we have all these memories together, we have children, we have a mortgage, we have properties, we have all this stuff, and people then can't let go of those things. And I'm not talking about children as being things, but children end up becoming pawns in this game where they know their parents are not happy. They start developing problems because they're trying to help their parents take the focus off them by causing a problem themselves. And it's a psychological fact. There's psychological clinical literature to prove it. So, and there's a great analogy I would use to try and describe this a different way. There's a coach recently that said a thing about offering people about purpose for life. And he said, if I gave you £1 million, would you accept it? And everyone was like, well, yeah, of course we would. We'd love it. And how would you feel? Oh, I'd feel amazing. I'd feel so good. If you gave me £1 million, well, I could do this, I could do that. My life would be great. And he said, okay, if I gave you £1 million, but you couldn't wake up tomorrow, would you take it? Well, no. The response was overwhelmingly no. Why would I have £1 million for one night? What's the point of that? It's nothing. And he's saying, why don't we still have the same attitude for when we wake up, we feel that energy for life, that zest for life. Okay, you don't have the £1 million, but you've already discovered the £1 million isn't worth one night. But when you wake up every day, you have that fresh chance, a choice and a chance. Now, let me flip it Coach Wheeler style a little bit and go back to the toxic relationships. If I said to you, you could have a comfortable relationship that's okay-ish, and you had a few properties or a nice house, a comfortable life, you had a mortgage and kids, and you were safe, but I would take away your happiness and give you misery. Would you accept it? And it's like, I don't think you would. I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't. And it's like, it's worth sometimes breaking the eggs and really being truthful to yourself to find if that's what you're happy to accept. And if you can't work through it and make it better, then you really need to go out there and be harsh on yourself or be strict with yourself to go and find the right person. Because the truth is, if you're stuck in that relationship, you're not free to meet the right person, and neither is your partner. You're not being fair on them. If you go to a party or go to you meet someone at work, or you're out one time and you talk to someone, you think, wow, this person's amazing. They like this, they like that. They were saying things I didn't know existed. I've never heard my husband say that. I've never heard my wife say that. You're not in that in that place, because that person might think, well, you're married. I wouldn't get with you because you're married. So even though you might click, you don't give yourself that opportunity. Yeah, if you're free and you're single, then you can. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, it's not easy when you're single to meet someone. I know it's not. But when you're married, it's even harder. And then you have to cheat and have affairs. And then it's never good anyway, because you start off on a bad footing. And also for your partner. You know, imagine that you're not happy with them, or they're not happy with you, and you're hanging on, or they're hanging on to you, and you're kind of in this toxic relationship. It becomes destructive for you both, because they don't have a chance to go and meet the right person for them. So you could be robbing them of their happiness, and that's not fair. And I know this video is a little bit of a tricky one and a little bit of a difficult subject to talk about, and it might sound like I'm advocating sort of breaking relationships and breaking them down. No, I'm not. What I'm advocating is being honest, being open, being truthful to yourself, and being honest with your partner, and sit down and have those conversations, because there's the chance you can work through it and you can grow and you can change. People don't need to stay the same. We can make changes to improve. So that is today's video. It's about relationships. If they become toxic, if they become difficult, try to work through them, but be open and honest with yourself and with your partner, and have those difficult conversations. And if you're not, the best thing might be for you to part ways and go and have happier lives with different people. I know people that have separated, they've met other people, the children have been happy, they've had good lives, they've had good understandings, they haven't been bitter, they haven't been twisted, and they live happy lives with other people. And they say it's the greatest thing they ever did. They're sorry for the time that they wasted, which we can never do. We can never look back and regret. But I hope this video somehow makes sense. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Look forward for more tips and advice from Coach Wheeler. Enjoy the beautiful sunshine on this Good Friday, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Peace.